The United Nations declared a decade of action from 2010 to 2020 that would reduce road deaths by half. Currently, up to 40 people are killed on South Africa's roads daily. This worrying statistic has prompted South Africa's Transport Minister, Sbu Ndebele, to work with his Southern African counterparts to bring the death toll on SADC roads down. This meeting was also an ideal opportunity to talk about regional connectivity and trade.
One could be forgiven for thinking this was the homecoming of a successful sports team. Well, it is a team. SADC ministers teaming up to raise awareness about road safety. It's called the Decade of Action in Road Safety, a United Nations sanctioned initiative to reduce road deaths.
The current situation is quite scary actually, because we're talking an average of 40 people per day within South Africa. We're talking about 14,000 per year within South Africa. But if we're going by the figures that we saw last month, late September, we're actually above that average of 40 per day. Globally, we're talking 1.3 million. And for South Africa, with such a number of, South Africa has got very few cars, but we actually have quite a number of, we're talking deaths here. We're not talking people who are maimed, just deaths only.
SADC ministers of transport and meteorology got together for a two-day meeting. On the agenda, how can the region learn from each other about road safety?
It's easy to say the person who drives badly is because they come from outside. And the truth is, and now I know the truth is the people who come from outside, some countries have got the best drivers. Take Namibia. Namibia, for instance, has got the best in terms of strategy and policy. And we are talking to them, and so because we talk to each other now, we're learning from them and they're learning from us. But believe it or not, my brother, one of the best of drivers in the SADC region come from Zimbabwe, because there's no fooling around. You mess up on the road, you are in trouble, and so you tell yourself wherever you are, you don't mess up on the road, you are going to do your best. So what we're doing now is to have this interchange, sharing of ideas within the SADC region, so that the best that we have in South Africa, we share with the rest of SADC. The best that other countries have got, they share also with us.
SADC ministers also spoke about regional connectivity. A viable economic bloc can only really work if Southern African development countries are truly linked by road, rail and air.
What President Zuma is championing, north to south corridor, is opening up our country in a way that the SADC country really will be reality. What is the EU? The EU really is connectivity between all those countries that make up the EU. You can proclaim it politically, it comes to nothing. But once you connect people by road and by rail and by air, particularly by road and rail, then it becomes reality, because families are able to visit each other, commerce is able to thrive. This is what we need to do in South Africa.
We live in a globalized world, and in a globalized world, you build on competitive advantages. You see the world is being economic coalitions all over. European Union is a coalition. American Canada or North America conference, everyone. So we have our own. In our case, it's SADC. And in SADC, we have to look at ourselves as one common destination of investment, as one common market as well. It's the only way that we can compete. And if you're talking about one market and one investment destination, we have to be able to move. We have to be mobile from one place to the others. Look at capital. Money doesn't need visa to go to one border to the other. So if money does not need visa, goods and people should not need visa as well. Mobility has to be fast. So, and unfortunately, we're really behind in terms of infrastructure. South Africa has good infrastructure, but some of us still in our early stages of development. So having good infrastructure, having good transport system, having intermodal system, giving options to passengers, to cargo, from train to airlines to road, it's on advantage for us to have a little bit of our shade in the globalized world.
The meeting also included a serious discussion around climate change and global warming.
The climate change is also upon us, and it calls upon us not to take for granted the weather that you used to know. If you think that it rains during December, or it doesn't rain in July, the weather has changed, so that the weather patterns have changed, and they've got a drastic and lethal effect on the road. So the COP17 that we are holding in Durban from the end of November to December also speaks to transport, that all of us should be aware. And of course, we are unfortunately one of the big polluters and contributing to the deterioration of our climate.
So, if this team of SADC ministers succeed in reducing road fatalities, that would be something worth cheering about.